People have called St. Charles County home for centuries, whether the original indigenous inhabitants, such as the Osage Nation, or the French fur traders who made inroads into the area. St. Charles County has long been a land of opportunity. French, Spanish, and Native Americans mixed, mingled, fought, and traded, and created rich communities here. The church was an important part of their early lives. French Canadians founded the settlement of Little Hills, which was renamed by the Spanish San Carlos in 1791 upon the completion of the First Catholic Church. San Carlos also became the home of the founder of Chicago, Haitian-American Jean-Baptiste Point de Sable. In 1803, American settlers made their way to the hills and valleys of St. Charles. They were spurred on by the Louisiana Purchase. These settlers, like Daniel Boone and his family, brought the culture and norms of the fledgling country with them. While some settlers came willingly, enslaved people who were brought under duress also came working the land. The bountiful potential of this new frontier brought expeditions of discovery. Lewis and Clark met in St. Charles to begin their journey to map and explore the territory. To guard these new settlements, the homes were reinforced into forts, like Fort Zumwalt. Missouri joined the Union in 1821, joined as a slave state. Just 5 years later, the first state capitol graced the main street of St. Charles City. The first two state attorney generals, Edward Bates and Rufus Easton, are now pictured in the mural that fills the historic St. Charles County Courthouse. State houses and courts, St. Charles County built them and filled them with purpose as it turned into a bustling community during the first half of the 1800s. The courthouse was a prominent public space for citizens. Alongside its expected judicial duties, the courthouse also played host to legislative sessions. There were public meetings, and the lawyers who argued there took up uniforms and rifles as they signed up for the Civil War. The railroads were vital to both the war effort and the survival of the settlements of St. Charles. When escaped slave Archer Alexander reported that local Confederate sympathizers were planning on sabotaging the Paruke Creek Railroad Bridge, the Union militia was quick to act. The Union Army enacted martial law to deal with the Confederate sympathizers, and the bridge was saved. And then came the Germans. German immigration was a dominant factor in St. Charles County, growing rapidly in the region between 1830 and 1880. The German immigrants were often sympathetic to emancipation and other so-called radical causes. They also helped turn St. Charles into wine country. Their immigration coincided with rapid industrialization of both factories and farms. This economic and population growth would set the stage for St. Charles's next phase of development. Steam and smoke once filled the skies of St. Charles. Home to the American car and foundry, St. Charles City was serviced by both steamboats, streetcars, and early electricity. Another major employer, International Shoe, converted their production to support both world wars. American Car and Foundry spent the war years making artillery vehicles and light tanks. After the war, the interstate highway system bridged St. Charles and St. Louis counties. Interstate 70 brought a new wave of families to St. Charles, this time riding Chevrolets instead of covered wagons. That growth has only continued through the modern day, and though St. Charles might be unrecognizable to its original inhabitants, much of the county still remains in its rural, charming frontier atmosphere, the same thing that drew people here in the first place.